All right, there we go. Another exciting episode of Actoroke and the season series finale. Roggy and the Anumians. I hope you like that. I have to admit, this episode got to me. I mean, emotionally, it was such a good job at the table by Sarah in terms of having a player character die and then treating with a lot of respect and a lot of heart, and Lexi taking it well and being that player who lost her character, and then the cast rallying around a great script that Steve wrote to give amazing performances, and me, I had the pleasure of editing it all together, and Tanel illustrated. Wow, what an episode. I'm joined tonight by Sarah Moore, who is the dungeon master of this, and also our Actoroke and Chaldea social media princess, and also Steve Connard, our lead writer and art director for Chaldea, and my business partner of many, many years, many companies, and our special guest tonight, Tanel Lovett, who is the illustrator. Almost everything you see visually associated with this world of Chaldea is Tanel's work, and she's also now the art director for Gen Con TV. So, hi everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Wow.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. So, what do we think of this episode?
Whew. It was a doozy, right? We just had like a lot packed into it. Just a lot. Yeah. I would like to know what everybody's like favorite piece of this episode was.
Well, for me, the concept, of course, is great. I mean, the death, the death and the destruction. But that illustration that Tanel drew of Warband reaching down,
yes,
and nudging Aggee. Oh my God,
it was so good.
That illustration, I don't know. I think it's probably your best ever, Tanel.
It was so good.
Certainly a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
It's hard to play favorites with any moment because everything was just hitting you each step of the way. I loved the foreshadowing with the funeral in advance. People are mourning, you're in a temple, there's like this slow opening, and I feel like of all the episodes I've watched, that was probably like the most paced opening because everything's just like hit the ground running,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is like, oh no, there's this build up.
Something has happened. Yeah. What about you, Steve?
It's funny, at the very beginning of series 2, when you said, oh, I got this idea, these guys are going to run into a Drowsildar, and anybody who knows Chaldea, and of course I've been associated with Chaldea as a player for 30 years. The Drowsildar are the monster of all monsters. We put that in the script. I was like, okay, how can these, I know these PCs are pretty powerful, but how can they possibly manage survive an encounter with a Drowsildar? And then at that moment when you DM'd it, it's like, oh, Warband came down and nudges him. I'm going, oh, there we go.
Oh, assistance.
These guys are getting assistance. Yes. Yes. And of course the illustration was amazing. Yeah.
I like Warbeard.
Warbeard.
Sorry.
Because he could have had a beard. Yeah, at that
That's
moment,
a different
actually,
character. Sorry.
No, you have so many characters to keep straight in your head. That moment came out of the fact that Aggee 100% just like botched his role at the table. Just like we set him up, and the whole table set him up, and everybody was like, yeah, this is great, and he rolled like a 6 or something ridiculous. Like, and I was like, oh no, but this needs to happen. let's just assist. Look, the gods are intervening. Yeah, and I was super proud of all of my players. Nobody knew that there was going to be a death at the table, except for I did check with Lexi, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna kill you. That's cool, right? and she was like, let's do it, like very excited to do it, and worked with me to make sure that I had all of her like formative memories and everything. But it was so wonderful to see everyone's reaction and to treat it really respectfully. Like everybody at the table was trying to scrambling to go through all their stuff of like, what can we do? And I was just thinking like, what a great moment this is going to be in the final product of like what happens when we put this all together.
That was actually my favorite illustration personally, just as a challenge to do, because overlapping, first of all, representing her soul, like what?
Yeah.
Okay. And secondly, trying to like what the players were doing, treating that moment seriously, not drawing anything funny, not drawing anything that could be joked about, like trying to really make it like not necessarily this gory moment, but just this like like
Yeah,
moment.
it
So
was very good. Like there were a lot of goofs throughout this entire series,
yeah.
but I like, and even some in the final episode, you know, there was a lot of Nards attacks, but like we were able to like really do a lot of really good character moments in this last episode.
Well, it's funny too, because then a lot of people's like, "Oh, Steve, you know, I go lowbrow very easily. I'm like the war band nudging, just
Yeah,
nudge me, you know, and
yeah.
I'm happy to go lowbrow." But I mean, the whole attack the pink thing. I mean, like, I didn't make
Oh,
that up.
I know. Yeah, no, you did.
I
You
blame
cannot
the
be blamed
players.
for that. That was 100% at the table. That was
Well,
real.
it's so funny because when we're filming on set, there's running comments about Steve, the screenwriter, and his sort of you know, potty humor, lowbrow humor. And I'm like, yes, but a lot of this started at the game table.
It came from us. We did this.
No, I'm happy to carry it like a pallbearer. I mean, you know, like, you know, hand it off.
Yeah.
Give me permission, you know.
So Tanel, as our special guest tonight, I'd love to talk a little bit about you and, you know, tie it to, of course, Actoroke and Chaldea, but like, well, give us your life story.
In 3 minutes.
yeah. Give us your life story.
Well, I've always drawn. It was more of an escape for me. Is, you know, the pressures of the world, whatever, just go away when I can like explore anything, right? What I'm reading, what I'm seeing, and just building my own fantasies. So I always kind of drew. My mother would say that I drew before I walked. She's like, yeah, you literally had crayons and like we're doing that before you ever walked. So it was just very natural for me to push myself, and I put myself through art school twice. I went for fine art, and then in the Seattle area, it's all tech. So I was like, graduated, ready to go try to be in a gallery, and realized, you know what, it might be smart to learn how to do digital art too. So that led me to a few different studios, and I was in between jobs. And when you keep, you know, when you keep in touch with people along the way, they're always like, hey, I know someone who really needs an artist, and you're first on my brain. And that's how I met Steve. Someone tossed me his way. I think I swore when we met, and he said, you're hired.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that was a good friend of ours, friend and business colleague, Phil Trumbo,
Phil
right?
Trumbo.
Hi, Phil, if you're out there.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I reached out to him and go, I need, you know, Chaldea, we're a guerrilla, you know, we do it, you know, on the cheap, if you will. Anyway, so we're like, okay, you know, we can't just go out and hire Disney. We don't have that kind of money. So I'm like, Phil, you work with a lot of like great, you know, upcoming artists. And he's like, here's Tanel, meet her. Anyway, we hit it off immediately.
Pocket Disney.
Yeah, Pocket Disney.
We're building it, right? That, you know, build it from the ground up.
Yeah. Well, and Tanel, you're just so fast. I mean, thankfully, because there's a long list of illustrations for each episode that they want, and they usually don't know it until I was done DMing. Like there was a couple of like, I think this will probably happen, but like we were letting the players go so much that it was like, okay, now we kind of know a couple, and then we don't really know until the script is fully finished.
Yeah.
So
now, so what was your when you were first introduced to Steve and Chaldea, kind of what was your impression of this project?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't given everything all at once. He needed me for his very specific task, which was making storyboards in a very specific visual style that was incredibly challenging. Everyone knows the Star Wars posters, the Struzen posters, that, small vignettes, large vignette, and the balancing act between those. Okay, great. Take that and do that for a whole graphic novel as instructions to send off to another studio. And I'm just like, this is a job. Like, this is big. That's a big ask. And so it was very much focusing on that challenge initially when I very first started with you guys. And then when he realized, I think, Steve, you're here, you can vouch for this, but I think after a while when he realized he didn't have to like hold my hand, I could just kind of take what he gave me and put it back at him. It just kind of became this back and forth, and then a little bit more of the world, a little bit more of the world. And so as that came in pieces, it was always just like, and I still don't even know the whole world. I'm still learning it, even after years. So I don't know, it's a visual treat to like explore forever. I mean, every artist wants that. Every fantasy artist wants a job where they can just keep learning and exploring what's in the world.
Do you have a favorite character to draw? This question is not a trap. I wasn't.
Wow.
It is not a trap. It is what truly. Is there anything like?
Okay. I'd have to think.
I think I know. I'm gonna make a guess.
Okay, everyone take bets. Everyone make a guess.
Okay, don't look at chat to now.
I don't look at. I can't. I'm too.
I posted mine in our Zoom.
Oh
chat.
yeah.
Hey Sarah, why don't you? Can you post these in the public chat?
I can try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this from anywhere in
Chaldea?
Actoroke. Let's say
Actoroke.
Okay. Let's keep it on an Actoroke. An Actoroke character. Favorite Actoroke character.
Okay. Now I'm switching gears here because you.
Okay, but don't say yet. We got to get Sarah and Steve.
Yeah, you tell me when.
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Yeah, come on, you got to play this game. Make your bets.
Okay, let me think here.
I'm gonna win this.
Yeah, you are.
I think you are.
That's the reason why I have a hard time guessing.
I'll guess a second one just in case.
Yeah, you gotta guess.
This is rough, you guys.
Okay, I'm totally gonna lose.
Did you post?
What are you gonna guess? I didn't see what.
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
That's a good guess too. We got some good guesses.
All right.
Okay, I think we've all guessed. All right, Tanel.
Okay. So within Actoroke,
favorite character.
Okay.
To draw.
Favorite
character to draw.
Probably. Oh my gosh.
It's okay to not play.
I have like a favorite per season. Can I give a favorite per season?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Then maybe there's multiple winners. Right?
Any way to help us out of this?
Okay. So when I got to do Brigthwina, I was ecstatic because that is like nature vibes. I'm all about that, right?
Yeah. And it's a Teen Phoenix.
Yeah, and Teen Phoenix. Come
good
on.
Stuff.
Like,
good stuff.
Any chance to drop it, right?
Okay. Brigthwina. Okay. None of us have won yet.
Okay, well, none of us chose Brigthwina. But she wasn't really in this second series. So
and
she was Actoroke, so
I know, but
Actoroke,
my brain was in series 2.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, per series, I'm just gonna grab the ones that stand out to me because picking one for anything is hard.
Yeah.
I agree.
For the slam, it was the Black Hessen.
Oh, the Hessen.
Also good.
The Black Hessen. Wait, the Black Cat?
Black Cat?
Oh my gosh. Hessen? So I kept merging them, and it was the Black Cat and the Hessen.
So the Black Hessen. Okay, we'll just leave it at the Black Hessen.
Leave it at there.
Yeah, there you go. None of us guessed that one either. So
yeah.
Okay, now series 2.
And now series 3, Helios.
Helios.
Helios. Oh, we
Here's two,
all
Helios.
no. I
Those
forgot it.
I love drawing horns. What can I
Um,
say?
Wow.
I love
mean,
drawing horns.
Wow.
Stefan
fair.
did guess that you liked drawing Helios in the chat. Stefan guessed it. But
My
I'm
runner-up?
surprised because I'm with you, Peter. I definitely thought she was gonna say Snaggle.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
My runner.
she's changed her
my-
mind.
I changed my mind. No, my runner-up would have been Rainbow or Badia, like are equally, because I love drawing flowy things.
Oh, and
so,
their costumes.
Badia had very flowy spell casting, and Rainbow had that cool mask and then like skirts and flowing and jumping and leaping. So yeah.
Oh, one of my favorite pieces you did, both of those characters, was when you did them as muses.
Yes.
And that piece is killer.
That piece is.
Yeah.
I know. I wanted to put it in this episode. I saw that piece. I'm like, oh, that's a great piece. Oh, wait a minute. That's they got the crowns on it. I probably shouldn't use that. It's okay.
Yeah.
So Sarah, just so you know, Janelle, Sarah guessed Tunnel Terror.
I guess the Tunnel Terror because you got to make it up.
See, you have characters. Because first of all, my heart's always for the monsters. Always for the monsters.
That's fair.
Well,
I mean, we
mean-
did name a Tunnel Terror Gary this time. So, and he kept time. You know, he was on the hour every hour. So,
oh my gosh, I need to know what everyone.
But if you think that's a stretch as far as what a character is, Steve said the pyramid bar.
Steve guessed the pyramid bar. One of our, you know how a location becomes sort of a character on its own.
Well,
Oh,
the fun.
yeah.
That's a little bit of an inside joke there. So the funny thing is that this was in series 2, we came with this idea to do matte paintings in which to put behind our actors. And the first matte painting I think you did was the pyramid bar, in which we didn't quite know what we were doing. And you did ultra wide, ultra wide, ultra wide. It was 6 panels or something crazy huge. Remember how huge that thing was?
Yeah.
I mean, like, anyway, the pyramid bar is great. We
It
could
was
film an entire movie in
though.
there.
It was just ginormous.
3 panels. I love what you guys throw at me. I mean, Peter's like, I have this idea and I need 3 video links because it's gonna be like really like I want to run by, and I'm like, I don't even think you know what you need, but I'll make it.
I have no idea, but that's been Actoroke. We have no idea what the heck we're doing, you know, and we've been figuring it out. You know, I mean, a lot of people would want to figure things out before they went live and streamed it on Twitch, but that's not really our style. I mean,
Not how we do it.
That's not the way it is in 2022. I mean, this is all, you know, the behind the scenes, the figuring out how to do it is all part of public performance now. So this is
well, it's funny. You're like, hey, can you do these guys in the Cthulhu horror chamber? And I'm like, really? Okay. So I did something. I responded a text. I said, do you want to see something really cheesy? He's like, just send it to me. That's the Actoroke way.
yeah. That's right.
It's like, okay, here it is. It's like, all right, good enough for prime time.
Yeah.
I think it worked out pretty good. I actually
Worked
liked
out
it.
great. Worked out
Oh,
great.
yeah. No, the effects in this episode, like that's what I was really jazzed about, is that you know, I feel like every episode we're learning, we're growing, we're learning, we're growing. And then like this, not only as a season finale, but I feel like it's almost like a skill leveling up finale. Like we finally got to something that we're like, yeah, like this.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna keep that going. We're gonna
Heading up.
keep that going.
And not to disparage your like practical effects during the RPG sessions where you would like chase them with little paper dinosaurs and things. That was always a favorite of mine, when you would see like, oh, they're doing something ridiculous, and I would just hear you and Peter giggling off to the side, and I would look over and you had like speech bubbles and like little people like
Those are the best. I have to say, as much as I love looking at the players, I just watched Tinel's art, the whole RPG. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. That's what I'm looking at. And then when you're right, when little speech bubbles come up, those are great. Keep bringing those.
So anybody watching, if you're like, what the hell are they talking about? If you watch one of our RPG sessions, Tanel does live illustrations, and so while she's drawing, the camera is on the book, like this book that she's holding up, right? So the camera is on the book, and she's drawing live. but you don't see her, you just see her hand sketching. But once in a while, she slides things into the camera, little speech bubbles, little things. But
Yeah, the old Disney parallaxing trick, or Disney parallax stuff in from.
I recognize her.
Oh yeah, there's the Taxian. Sarah is Taxian.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I'm more glowy in that one than I was on set. There were more tubes. Thank you for limiting the number of tubes put on my head. I appreciate you. That was wild.
Tanel, like, what is what do you find most interesting about like the process of illustrating live? Like, how does that work for you? How does it work for you?
So it actually, I mean, it's amazing because it's really amazing experience for me for 3 really big reasons. The first reason is I am still new to playing D&D, and so for me it's like I get to play it, but I don't have to. Like, I just get to like be in the action without having to look up all the little bits and things that I have no clue about yet, and still be part of the game. And so I'm learning a lot. The second big reason is because I have worked very hard to be able to draw very quickly without thinking. It's something that you do have to train as a professional artist your entire life to do. You know, generally drawing live is not, it's like an athletic event. I have to warm up for it. I have to do warm-up sketches. I have to get my brain geared. I have to get ready for it.
Wow.
And then it's just muscle memory. And so what happens is, like, my brain is tuned in to what's going on and my hands know what to do, right? Because muscle memory, athletic event, right? Just go. So what happens in that state is I need the intellectual stimulation. I really need to be engaged in a story. And so when I'm at home drawing, for myself or sometimes for work, depending on what it is, I like to listen to stories or podcasts or the YouTube videos. And so my brain needs that engagement. And what's amazing about being live with you guys is that my brain is fully engaged. So there's this separation between the body does the thing and the brain's in the adventure. And the third reason is because it really does become something that I feel more involved in. It's not just about the art at that point. The art is interactive. The art is like part of the story that's happening. And so it's like this loop that's giving back because you guys are filling my brain and head with this story. I get to compose a shot, and then all of a sudden, maybe it becomes like a spark of what's going on for them to be inspired by. Like Aggee riding the T-Rex, he made the comment. Tavjan made the comment when we were playing. He was like, he saw the drawing and he kept seeing himself getting like beat up. And he pointed at me. He's like, I'm gonna ride that T-Rex. I'm gonna ride those shoulders. You better draw me in a heroic pose. And I was like, oh, it's on. And everybody knows what happened after that. And if you don't, go watch the episode. So, yeah.
Nice.
Drawing live is a very, very big treat.
That's great.
Well, I know a lot of people have made comments to me that they just love to watch the art. A friend of mine, his wife, who doesn't really care so much about D&D, watches to watch the art because they like to watch the art come to life.
I think it's a level of engagement that makes it more open because, like me, people are kind of tuning out the rules if they're just in it for the art. They're watching the story and the adventure happen. And some people, I mean, the thing about art is that it lets people visualize a little bit better. So not everyone can actually visualize those things that are happening. That's why we're making these movies, is like, let's tell that story. And then to have a live drawing session happening at the same time as the adventure, it's like you get to see that and hear it. And so the experience becomes, more tangible for people, in my humble opinion.
And then you also sometimes start stuff before we are in the adventure, if you know like where we're going. And so the audience the people who aren't at the table get sort of a preview of whatever like monster is about to appear for them, which I think is also very cool.
Yeah, we
like,
usually get a text. Can I get a clue where we're going? She'll say.
Yeah, where are we
I'm always-
starting?
I'm always like running over. I'm like, Sarah, I know you're super busy, but where is this taking place?
Where are we going now?
I need to know.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's an interesting part of it, is as part of the dynamic of Actoroke, the tension between the sort of how RPGs are often played and historically been played, where there's a lot of freedom, where the story could go anywhere, and then the needs of like, well, let's set our artists up to succeed by giving her an idea of where it's going to go, and the screenwriter and the director for casting. That's great to know. You were showing, did you want to say something about that piece of art?
Oh, it was just one of those live draws where I had started before everyone had sat down, and so sometimes I'm always very like, okay, the players are walking by, close the book.
Yeah, don't look at it.
No spoilers. And just like what you were saying, like, they don't know what's coming, but the audience does, because we kind of have to make sure that we're hitting some of those scenes so that I can be successful in making a piece that looks epic, that feels epic.
Yeah, that was episode 1, that magma monster.
Well, let's talk about how art actually influenced the game in a major way in series 1, where Tanil goes, I'm just going to create a monster, and Peter on the fly made stats for it. He had no idea what you were drawing. He would look over and goes, oh, it's got pincers. All right, its pincers do 3D.
Yeah.
Let's go back here.
Talking about the tunnel terror.
Terror.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was going to bring it up. You beat me to the punch.
Okay.
So those of you who were with us last series might remember that we did this special thing where we just told Tanel, just create a monster on the fly, and I'll DM it, because I was DMing series 1, and they were out on the hunt. Like, okay, you're out on the hunt, and there's an encounter. What do they encounter, Tanel? Show us what it is. And it was
horrifying.
That was the birth of the tunnel terror, and I'm
like the
making
scariest
up stats
monster
on the fly. And there was a moment there where it looked like I might be doing a TPK at the party.
Episode 1 of the first series.
Yeah,
knocking everybody out.
It was. I gave it stats that are probably a little tough, but what saved the day was the dogs. It was the dogs.
Yeah. Well, and then tunnel terrors have now like seeped into all over the place. They showed up in an Actoroke Slam. Yeah. Like they just showed up on maps, and they're so scary.
Well, that's because they harvested the eggs and brought them back and sold them in town,
so
and now they're like,
"Oh, why would you do that? Stop it."
Dumb pieces.
I'll never forget. Yeah, like we can just relive all this wonderful tunnel terror glory. I have had so many opportunities to draw, so it was wonderful, and I really hope we get to do that again, because you know how I feel about drawing monsters.
Yeah.
If you hadn't have said characters, my top pick would have been immediately all the monsters.
All
Number
of them.
1, tunnel terror. So.
Yes. I'm taking that point.
Yeah. Tanil put in a request as we're prepping. By the way, we're prepping Fast and Furious for Series 3. No spoilers at this moment. But anyway, Tanil goes, Steve, can I do what we did with Peter? Can I just draw something on the fly?
Make a monster.
And so I got to sign our DM up for creating stats on the fly. I'm sure you can do it.
It'll be fine.
So these are the eggs that they decided to bring back for some reason.
Oh,
sell to Brandy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Stefano's NPC character in Graver's Dig, his gnome trader. As an emergency,
bring him back.
Not as a
Patrick is in chat right now. He is the one that sold the eggs to Brandy, and Patrick says no regrets.
No
do it again.
No regrets. Even though
that was from the Slam. Gary Con.
Yep.
That's the art from Gary Con.
Oh, the tunnel terrors are a menace to Graver's Dig now.
Everywhere.
Thanks to Patrick. Yeah.
Thank you, Patrick.
So at the end of this episode, when Ariadne is like that spider-infested spa, now you all know the history.
And I think it showed up in a private game, didn't it, recently? So Tanel, we had Tanel and her husband and the Baileys up to play D&D together a couple weeks ago. And of course, I had to throw a tunnel terror at Tanel.
Yeah, she deserves it, right?
Oh my gosh.
I
She
mean,
created
it's a
that
good
menace.
one to fall back on because it is like completely it's only in Chaldea. That's the only place that you can find tunnel terrors.
But
So
that's
like
the
it's
thing,
nice
though.
to keep coming back to them, right?
Yeah,
By the way, if you want to put a tunnel teller in your D&D campaign, we have stats online.
it's on the website.
That's right. Go to our website.
Actoroke.com.
Do it.
You can kill PCs with your own tunnel terrors.
And
Yeah.
then tweet at us how well it went.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes. Because I mean, it's bad when the artist almost kills the party.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I could have predicted that because an artist is just going to go crazy and draw the most epic thing ever, right? And
Yeah.
then it's like, wait, these guys are first level.
Well, and now they're everywhere in Graver's Dig. So like, I walked into an alley and it's just like hanging above me. And I'm like, can I like
Oops.
erase you, please?
It was a juvenile.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
juveniles.
Is a
Yeah.
baby.
Only Gary is the one that's an adult, even though Peter still doesn't quite get Gary.
Don't understand, Gary.
Oh,
Gary
that's
calls out the
funny.
time.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
Get
so
that.
The
What?
reason Gary came about is because I put him in the stylized map.
Yep.
And the first thing all the players at the table,
Yeah.
what is
They were
that?
like, what's with the tunnel terror? Why is he out there? And so I offhandedly said, that's
That's-
Gary. He calls out
Gary, I
on the-
love Gary.
on the every hour on the hour, so you know what time it is. And then they were like, great. And so that whole episode, they were like, okay, well, what time do we have to be here? 5 Garys? Okay, we'll get ready. So now that's scary.
I know, and every time the funny thing is that I listen to the recordings of the RPG sessions over and over and over again as I'm writing the scripts.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing Megan going, Gary, I love Gary. She
Yeah.
must have said that like 50 times, more than 50
She
times.
loves Gary. Like it was and in fact, we like if
Should be a
Gary
soundbite.
if Gary didn't get mentioned in an episode, there would be a moment where somebody was like, I miss Gary. Like, you're not even there anymore. Like, what are we doing? Like, all right.
I think Megan's side quest needs to be to go free Gary.
To go talk to Gary. I think we need to offer Gary plushies.
Yeah.
That when you squeeze them, they tell you what time it is. They say a time.
And like the tongue rolls out. Can like, like the mouth is like this and like
Like one of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
little
Like a-
spiky
Like a little party blower. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
You can
Well,
tell we enjoy this.
yeah, we love this. I love this. Tanel, thanks for joining us tonight. It was great to have you on
Wonderful to
Actorspokee. All right, well, that concludes movie night for episode 6 of Ariadne's Artisans, an Actoroke series set in the world of Chaldea. It also concludes series 2. Thanks very much to Sarah Moore, our dungeon master for this series, for creating a great story that the rest of us could rip off of and do add our bits to this. We will be back next week for a series 2 supercut. What we're going to do is next Wednesday night, we're just going to get on chat and watch the whole series 2, all 6 episodes. They're each only a half hour long, so it's like 3 hours. That shouldn't take long. 3 hours. How long would that take?
3 hours.
So, we're getting punchy. All right, so come back next week and we will do the series 2, and we will just talk the whole thing and relive all the moments, even the one that we recorded on Zoom that was not as the video production on that one, not quite as good as the others. But
Just
that's
different.
okay.
Just
Shows how we're
different.
going. It just shows how far we've come. That's
Yeah.
all right. So come back next week for the Supercut Series 2, and then the week after that, we will start doing Series 3. We're going to start with a session 0, creating the characters, introducing the actors and the players to each other, figuring out who the characters are. That'll be 2 weeks from tonight. And then 3 weeks from tonight will be the first official RPG session of Series 3.
Woof.
and then we're into our cycle. Then it's editing and filming and editing and just blah 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 the cycle by now. So
And and illustrating.
And illustrating. Yes, and illustrating. Okay, so yeah, that's the plan. We will not be missing. It's not like last time where between series 1 and series 2 there was a really long break, and no, we are going right into series 3. And so stay tuned for announcements soon to come of who our cast of RPG players will be and who our cast of actors will be. Those announcements will be made soon.
Watch our social media at World of Chaldea on all of our platforms.
That's right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Ciao.
Bye.